Hello and welcome back to another episode of the What You Doing podcast. I am Aaron Burrell alongside Paul Garino.
How's it going?
We are joined by a very special guest, the one, the only, Gianna Marcello. Thank you, Gianna, for joining us. How are you doing today?
Thanks. Good. How about you guys?
We're
Good.
good. We're good. Glad to be talking to you. Thanks for taking the time to do this. I know you know Paul.
Yes.
Everyone knows Paul, right? It's
Everyone knows Paul. Paul's a legend.
Dang, I'm clipping that.
Yeah, he's definitely clipping that. He's running that on the front of every promo from here on out.
Uh,
Well, thank you, Gianna. So typically we like to start this with why Sacred Heart? Can you tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you ended up at Sacred Heart?
so I'm originally from Rhode Island. Definitely, I chose Sacred Heart because one, the dorm rooms were air conditioned. I know that's like a terrible excuse, but that was like definitely a big perk, I felt like, because a lot of schools did not have that. And the living situation there seemed a lot better than other schools that I had visited. So I felt like that was something that definitely was like on my list. And then it just felt like similar to my high school, like somewhere that there's like a lot of community, a lot of people, everyone kind of knew each other. It was like a close-knit environment, even though it kind of was a little big. But so yeah, that's pretty much like why I chose it.
Gotcha. Shout out to the Central Air. Uh,
Yeah. Honestly, that's such a big plus. So many schools don't have that.
yeah.
It's
Crazy.
kind of like
That'd
crazy.
be that'd be nuts.
I know. Imagine like dying.
No, not with all those people in there, and it's crazy. Yeah, it'd be.
Yeah, it's like
What,
kind
what
of that.
what was the what were your freshman? Where was your freshman dorm?
So I actually did one semester in Merton and then I moved my second semester to Seton, so I kind of lived in both.
Okay.
Um,
That's rare. I feel
but
like not many folks get to go in both Merton and Seton.
I know there really weren't that many differences. Like you could just tell Merton, like the bathrooms were a little bit more updated and they were like bigger, but other than that, there was really no difference, I felt like, between the two.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah.
Oh, gotcha. So when you get
Yeah.
to Sacred Heart, what did you decide to major in?
So I majored in English and I minored in fashion, marketing, and merchandising. And then I also went to Sacred Heart for my master's and I did that in human resources. So I am like kind of very spread out in what I kind of did.
Yeah, what made you
Right.
want to be English major? You want to be a teacher?
I I did originally want to be a teacher. And then I kind of just like didn't really want to do that. One, I didn't really want to take all those praxis exams and all those like standardized testing things, but looking back on it, I kind of like wish I was just because summer's off and that kind of thing and definitely like pretty flexible lifestyle. But um so then I kind of pivoted and I wanted to stay with English because I actually ended up wanting to do like things with magazines or writing, that kind of. That's how I ended up doing like fashion because I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to write for a fashion magazine or do something like that. But I also didn't really end up doing it. But I do work in fashion. So I did do something that I did apply a lot that I've learned like to my actual career, which is nice. And then yeah, so that's kind of how I ended up doing that. I did like to write. I like to read, so that was something that I felt like was I enjoyed doing that. I loved my classes. They were really fun. And yeah, that was it.
Did it help, being able to write, did that help you break into the fashion industry?
I currently do merchandising. So I will say it does help when I'm coming up with proposals and strategies and stuff like that. Definitely thinking of ways to spin things and always like looking at like hindsighting stuff. And I feel like in that sense it has helped a lot because you're always storytelling what's going on. So I definitely think it did help with that. And then obviously the fashion classes were just like good, like stepping stones to kind of understanding what the business is about. So yeah.
Gotcha. And you were involved in Greek life at Sacred Heart as well?
Yes, I was. I was in 80 Pie, so shout out to them.
Shout
What was
out.
Greek? What was Greek life at SHU like? Because we don't know.
It
We
was,
weren't in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really fun. I mean, obviously it's a lot different like if you're down south and you have a
Yeah.
house and it's like a bigger environment, but I feel like from what we were able to experience, it was like the closest thing. I definitely liked towards the spring we had like Greek week and stuff like that. There was always a ton of events on campus and it was just like another big community where you just knew everybody. And yeah, it was fun. And you got to meet a lot of different people and got to meet a lot of people and get just like really involved
Nice.
in
I
like campus stuff.
and I see you were very involved in the sorority as well. You want to talk to us
Yeah.
about some of your roles that you had?
Yes, so I had a couple of roles. My last one was I was the president of the sorority, so that was really fun. Yeah,
What is it
so that
like
was
being
cool.
president of a sorority?
It was honestly like so much fun. Looking back on it, it was just like honestly, I learned so much even just like from the business world being in the sorority. Like you learn how to address people, how to write emails, like how you're dealing with like planning events and budgeting and dealing with people who are like superior to you, like advisors and even going to like conferences and stuff like that, and you get to do a lot of stuff, so it was really fun.
That's
I
cool.
felt like I learned a lot about the business world. And I always tell everyone at work it's like how we format like the steps of our business and everything remind me so much of sorority life.
Really? How so?
And yeah, just like just things that we do and like how hierarch and like people like leadership and everything, it reminds me so much of being in that world. So it's really funny just to see the comparison.
That's cool. That's cool. And obviously, I see, I saw that after you, or while you were in graduate school, it looks like you started a blog, blogging about fashion.
Oh yeah, so I did do like so one summer I
He did
did
his
do a
research.
blog. What is it? Yeah, I know. I'm like, what are you even talking about? Oh my God, how did you find? Oh no, I did that when I was abroad, as like a fun thing to put on my resume. So what was it? It was like College Fashionista, right? Or something like
Yes,
that.
yes.
That was like a huge thing at Sacred Heart. Like every girl was doing it, and they were using it as their internship. I
Mm.
didn't end up doing that. I just kind of used it as just like stuff, and it was something fun to do while I was studying abroad with my friends and everything. So. It was just like kind of like that. Oh my God, I completely don't even remember doing it.
Yeah,
Paul, you're stalking.
yeah, that's what we do. We got to research. But
I know.
what after you graduated, what made you go back to get your master's? Did you want to get your
Yeah, I did. Did I want to get my master's? So I was not. So after I graduated, I kind of like didn't know what I wanted to do at all. I actually didn't think I would ever get a job in fashion. So I felt like that was just so unrealistic. And just because like I feel like when you're applying to things, you're just throwing your application into this portal and just hoping someone like finds it or you write the right keyword, it shows up or something like that. So I decided to go to grad school and kind of just really think about what I wanted to do with my career. And that's why I ended up doing human resources because I was like, oh, maybe this is like an easier like stepping stone into like the corporate environment and stuff. I obviously didn't end up doing it. I did work somewhere as like an intern and did like a lot of HR stuff and then I kind of realized it wasn't for me. It was kind of dealing a little too much with people's personal lives. And
yeah.
I was like, I don't really like I don't want to deal with people on this kind of level. So yeah, so then I just started like applying to a ton of jobs. I was working at the Loft store in Westport. So I was already an associate, so I just really was just like applying to every job that was in like the associate portal, and I ended up getting something.
Nice. What was that?
Yeah, so I started off, so I currently work on the merchandising team for Loft Outlet, and I actually first started out as a PO coordinator for Ann Taylor Factory, and then I was an assistant, and then I got moved over to Loft Outlet, and then I became an associate, and now I'm a merchant. So I've kind of just like worked from the bottom.
That's nice. That's dope.
Yeah.
What are some of like the things at Loft, that you kind of look at and you're like, well, I'm glad that like my career so far has prepared me for this.
Yeah, I think it's overall like a great company to work for. Obviously, it's a female-based company and it's like kind of one of like the bigger female American retailers out there. So I love that aspect. Everyone at work is so like just loves being there and loves creating product for our customer and just really understands what the client's always looking for. I think that's really fun. And we're always just trying to like push ourselves as far as what we're putting out there for our customer. And I think that's like really fun because we're not so closed into a box of like we need to only offer this. So yeah, I definitely think it's the people though. I love everyone I work with.
That's cool. So what are some of the things that fall under the merchandise team for those who may not be?
So, yeah, so I deal with a lot of like hindsighting, data analysis, product analysis, like what's on the floor, what's the customer gravitating towards, what's not working, and then kind of taking those learnings and then we're creating like next year's assortment as far as like what we see as opportunities, things that we see out in the market. We do a lot of trend forecasting, like what do we want to offer her, what are we seeing out there. On the outlet level, it's really nice because we're able to get really hands-on with product development. So really like feeling fabric, dealing with like what the client really likes, feeling things, and really getting into the nitty-gritty of like creating the lines, which I feel like is the my favorite part is just really getting into the development of the product.
Wasn't it something we were at a wedding and you saw somebody that was wearing something
Yeah,
that you were
someone was
looking for?
wearing the
Yeah.
dress, this dress that I
Really?
did. Yeah, yeah, that's my favorite part is going out and like seeing someone wearing the stuff that you work on, and that's like the most exciting thing, I
I
think.
got a good memory.
Yeah, no, that was funny.
I see that. What
Oh.
was the dress?
It was just like a printed like chiffon dress that someone was wearing at like this wedding we were at.
Don't
But
worry,
yeah, I
Aaron.
think
Aaron
that's
doesn't
the
know
funniest
fashion.
part.
I don't know fashion. He actually calls me to ask me about fashion all the time.
Yeah,
He wants to make
right.
sure he looks cool, so I'm the guy he calls.
Paul,
Yeah,
come
right.
on.
Oh man.
That's
That's
cool
funny.
though. And
Yeah.
how about have you had a chance to go back to Sacred Heart recently?
So actually my bro so it's kind of funny, like every I what am the oldest out of all my cousins. I have one brother. And I went to Sacred Heart and then everyone has followed since then.
Yeah, she
So
started the
like
lineage.
yeah, I did. So it was like me, my brother, and then I have four cousins that I'm really close with, and we all went there. The last one is going to be a senior next year. So I've gone back for their like graduations and things like that. So it's been fun. Or like going to visit them or something like that. So it's been fun like seeing how much the campus has evolved
Mhm.
because
That's
it's
awesome.
definitely a lot different than when I was there.
What is one thing that you see now that you wish you had when you were there?
My gosh, I don't know, there's so many things. Honestly, probably like the newer dorms. Those look really nice. When my
Yeah.
cousins lived in one of them, she said it was really nice.
Oh, really? Which
So yeah, which one? It's the one with like the arch. I don't know the names of them.
I don't
Yeah,
I
that
heard
was
it's
Um,
solid they're doing like alumni weekend in June and you can go live in the dorms for the weekend.
wait, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do.
So
Paul has a
you
promo code.
go
He's
you go
mentioned it to
live in the
everybody.
brand new dorms if you want to test them out.
I like want to go in and see it. I don't know if I want to sleep there.
Right? It's like sleepaway camp for adults.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
is, yeah.
It makes you think about like senior week when you go stay in the
Yeah.
dorms and then you're like, oh my God, I didn't know how gross this.
Yeah.
Senior week. This is just because people just are living their wildest dreams.
I know.
So no, that's good though. So I want to take it back to one thing you mentioned before, which I always find is funny, like when you're talking about HR and being like, I was a little too involved in people's issues.
Yeah.
Was there a moment that like you just thought back and you realized like this is not for me? Like that,
Yeah.
that moment?
Yeah, there were like a couple. I was working also at a call center, so it wasn't like the most it wasn't like the most like normal environment. So
Yeah.
and it was just like there were like a few things I can't even talk about them on camera, but there were like a few things where I was like, okay, like this is not.
No,
I was like, this is I'm not gonna do this anymore.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And now Loft, you've been at Loft for a long time now, 8 years, I
Yeah,
believe.
I've been there 8 years. I know it's the only place I've worked
That's
in my
amazing. Like,
adult life.
how many
Yeah,
people can say that?
I know. Actually, at Loft, where I work, a lot of people only work there.
Really?
It's everyone always says it's a place where like you don't want to leave.
What are some of the other
Or
reasons, like why that is?
yeah,
Like, what do you
yeah.
think that is?
It's just the I think it's just the environment and the people. I
Mhm.
feel like fashion can be like a high stress environment, especially if you're working for like certain brands and everything. So I definitely think it just is one of those places where it's like a little bit more flexible than the rest.
That's cool. Have you had a chance to, I mean, I know I was not too involved in the Sacred Heart fashion community, but do you have a chance to get back and, like talk to any students or anything like that? Or I'm sure like they would love to, like Loft, I'm sure is a pretty popular brand on campus if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like I feel like I've had a few people reach out to me just on the side, just like seeing me on LinkedIn or something like that, but I haven't really gotten involved in like going back or speaking or anything like that. I've gone back and done like a few things with my sorority and stuff, but I don't know, no, not really.
Okay, gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to set it up. I know
Yeah.
since Paul seems to know everyone in the fashion world.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll be on the board. Well, actually, me and you are supposed to be on the board this summer. So
We are?
What are
yeah,
you on the board
with
for?
Dan. No, I'm talking about the alumni board.
Oh, yes, yes, the
Oh,
alumni board.
that's
I thought you meant
cool.
the fashion board. I was like,
Oh
wait,
yeah,
hold on.
no, not the fashion board.
I was like, wait, what board did we
I
get
don't know if
signed
I'm
up
gonna
for?
qualify for that
Wait,
one.
what do you do on the alumni board?
I think we'll get
Good
to go to
question.
I know one of the things is like to go to the event, like you have to go to a certain amount of events per year just
Oh,
to
wow.
be like I don't, I want to say like chaperone, I guess, or like volunteer or whatever I don't know what you would call it.
We chaperoning each
Yeah.
other.
No.
Like,
I don't know, the kids.
okay,
Um,
gotcha.
I forgot what else did Dan tell us? There's meetings, I think quarterly meetings and like going to the events and something else.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it work. Well, Gianna, it's time for Paul's favorite segment. We love to tee this up. I don't know if you've seen before, but it is time
No,
for Fun Shoe.
Fun
what
shoe.
is fun shoe? What's that?
It's
The
like
worst name for this segment. That is what it
so
is.
what was your favorite dorm to live out at?
My favorite dorm. I loved living in North. That was fun.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was my favorite.
What about your favorite place to eat on campus?
Oh, well, obviously it was Reds. I loved Reds. Like that's all me and my friends would do right when like everyone turned 21.
Was the diner open
Um,
when you were there?
no, we didn't have the diner.
Uh,
No, so it was just like Linda's 63s, like the normal places. I
63.
didn't have anything cool. My brother was there when the diner like opened.
We
Yeah,
went there for the first
Um,
time. It was
went there a couple of months
pretty
ago.
good. Yeah, I was like, oh,
really?
yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
Wish we
cool.
had this.
Yeah, it was like wait, I didn't feel like I was at Sacred Heart in a good
that's
way.
cool. Yeah, that's good.
What about last one? What's something you miss about Shu?
I just miss like just being in college and just like not worrying about it.
Sure.
To be
Pretty light
honest.
stress.
I guess since you like majored in three things, if you could go back, like what would you pick? Just like one?
No,
All right.
probably
Fair.
not. Honestly, like if I were to go back, no, I'd probably still go to grad school. Like that was fun. And like I probably wouldn't have gotten so close if I didn't go. Like then I would have gone home and we would have never even crossed paths.
You wouldn't
Like
even have been here on this podcast right now.
no, I wouldn't be here on this podcast at all. So no, I don't
Well, you
I
took
don't know,
it
I
too
wouldn't
literal.
change
You took it
anything.
too literal. I was just talking about your majors.
I know. My majors, honestly, like no, because like I did English because it was. I didn't want to go through the business. Like it was just too much for me. I would not have. It wouldn't have ended well. I
I'm
feel
glad I
like.
wasn't in no English major. That would have been brutal for me.
Why? It wasn't hard. Oh yeah, Sandra Young was my favorite
Shout
professor.
out to Sandra Young.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
You got
Well,
any fun questions?
Me, just my only one is your favorite memory at SHU, not involving classes or anything like that, just like moments with friends or anything along those lines.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I can't think of like one specific one. There's just like so many I can't even kind of think of. I don't know. There's I just like I don't even remember like I mean obviously I think my favorite memories were just going to the library. And my friends would always go there and um and you just see everyone and just I mean not really study and just like socialize. Our big thing, I feel like towards the end, I think it was my sophomore and junior year was like booking those rooms in there. And we'd all just like go in and just like either we would do homework though. I will admit, like we would do homework, but then at the same time we would just like have fun in there and like bring snacks. I think that's like my favorite part. It's like little
Uh,
things like that.
that's a good one. It's the first time we've had the library.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
no, I loved the library. We always were there. Also because I was in the sorority, so like everyone would be there.
No, I rarely went to the
And
library, but Aaron
We
literally.
know you barely went.
No, you literally never went though.
No, I went. I went. That's why I knew that went on. But you, on the other hand,
Nah.
I'm not sure you knew where it was on campus.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, we want to thank you for your time. We
thank
appreciate
you.
you
This was
coming
so
on.
much fun.
Thank you for your time. This has been another
Thank
episode of
you.
What You Doing. We will see you all next time.
Thanks.